Well, oh, my microphone. Well, in that case, it wasn't fully plugged in, so you didn't get to hear any of that. So, on the way, welcome to the Wonderlands live stream. Haven't done these in a while, but I've done tutorial live streams. Did only the 1.4.4 though, because I had to get up all these levels. Got one of them, the Chaos 100. In Chaos 100, they have like 45 times the health they would normally have if it was the Chaos Arrow. We're choosing the crystals, not Dragon Lord, because it's not featured run video. We have not got any viewers so far, but anyway, don't worry about that. I just upload these mostly for fun anyways. We don't get any money for this because we don't have 1,000 subscribers, but we don't plan on monetizing the channel anyway, though. I think that was melee damage, which sucks. We don't have a melee build. Well, I could whack him in the face a bunch of times, though. And I think I have my stupid garbage gear on. Got my luck boosting gear, which I use for the end room. I don't know if that even matters, as I've not noticed the recent legendaries with it at the bunny room. It's more noticeable outside of this, though. Yeah, I don't have the Brad lock on me because this is 56 plus lock ammo I have on me. Even though it doesn't really benefit me in the slightest because it's a Spore Warden version. Check and see. These will always be a lightning damage and Spore Warden. These will have always have double up luck on it. And I don't know what that 36 bravery against larger enemies. I have no idea what the fact that does. Maybe it does absolutely nothing. I don't know. A better one would have would be a purple or a legendary one with a double lock if you look in the farm stuff. Stay back, Coaching Darkness. Oh, stay back. Well, that's kind of annoying, but 100 plus 120 bonus crystals is better than 30%. And sometimes the course in darkness can be a problem if you, especially if you're going down multiple times. You don't want that decreased in fight for a lifetime. Save your soul, because it's Wonderlands. Save your soul, not fight for your life. Doesn't get. It'll still wrecking these enemies, even with the amulet, like that. It is melee damage. I don't like going close up, going melee that, because that's puts you in serious risk like that. Melee is very unbalanced in this game. You can get broken melee builds, but get melee builds that basically suck. Plus, you're going to take a lot of damage when you're at higher chaos levels. Due to increased damage and increased health. I would not do it with a squishy character like a Stabbo. Like a certain Stabbomancer builds. And obviously, I would not do it with a small one Stabbomancer build, as those barely have any survivability. The mushroom can revive you though, but I don't use the taunt ability because the mushroom will end up going down almost immediately because it doesn't award any damage reduction to the mushroom at all, which is kind of what you want if you're tanking stuff. Class ring, when action skills holding down, facts increase 50%. Not a big fan of these rings. They can help in a pinch, especially if you have an action skill cooldown on these. What they would be more useful for. But have something like a mood ring or the mood ring's only 33%, but anyway. A battle one would be a thumb crosses. That's always going to make 33% in the dungeon, which includes the chaos chambers. I was just looking at the vending machines. Already got the loot lock things on me, so don't need to change them. So we got a Bronco Buster striking, or manual transmission. Not a fan of this thing. It's rather difficult to take advantage of most of the time. I'm looking for amulets, so I'm going after these. So I want to send it one anyway. If I can get an all damage dealt and stats effect damage, that's a point. sometimes the legendary amulets won't spawn with the second roll, which is kind of dumb when you're trying to farm for those. Purples will always have two. Legendaries have a special effect on them though. Stuff like Hardbringer will always have a shield capacity. They cannot spawn with they can only spawn with one normal one though. Like if this was like poison Blightcaller, you should grab it anyway. Though I thought I'd use a bunch of spells to spoil one, and spoil one ain't made for that. But if it was a spell shot, definitely pick that up. So when the action skill's cooling down, it's extra. Spell shot can take advantage of that with that magic bullets. Ascended overflow blood bag. I'd rather have that on a Greyborn though. But it does have dark magic on it. Volatiles. Might as well. I always sell those basically. When you're up high in the chaos level, you don't really even need those at all. But if you're like between 20 and 35 is when you want those. Between 20 to 50 actually. But they have a low drop chance on TS20, but still can get them. Harbinger, these will always spawn with shield capacity and one other one on the top. And the shield capacity contributes to item score. This is Dark Magic and Berserker, so basically gonna sell that. If it's, I'll only take Frost if it's Frost on the Berserker power. I could take others though. Probably keep this one. Gun handling. Who needs gun handling anyway? Worst roll on it. All damage dealt makes up for it though. Gotta have that all damage dealt. Higher chaos levels. Status effect damage and loot luck. Maybe. Oh, I'm gonna sell it. I'm gonna sell most of these anyway. Not gonna. I do not like the Blaze of Glory. I mean, I'm gonna sell that. With my amulets that I have now, we don't even need this Brad Luck, so that can definitely go. Yeah, sometimes the Bible is spawn with no extra element damage. Which sucks. This is actually a really good amulet in general. But they can spawn without the elemental damage bonus. All the other legendary amulets cannot. spawn without it. And purples for that matter. I don't remember seeing blues that spawn without the elemental damage either. I believe those can spawn without it, because blue rarity. Obviously the lower rarities can spawn without it. Universal soldiers. Not looking to those. Those only improve gun damage, not elemental damage. Which if you're using a bunch of elements at once, might as well use it. Does offer versatility in what element you're gonna use, element or gun you're gonna use. Slip and stun. I wish that would increase the power of Stabbomancer when sliding, but it actually does not, because it's bugged and stuff. It's kind of like a snowdrift and a static charge mixed together, because melee attacks deal bonus lightning damage after sliding. Does not chain any enemies though. Kind of disappointing, in my opinion. Most of the time you're going to use those to get away from a fight. I have not put that in the bank. I should do that afterwards. Spawned with one modifier and only covering your power. Bronco Buster, why would I use that? Its capacity so low it's not even worth it. But always it gives you health generation when it's full and it charges super fast. Plus it gives you a maximum health bonus. I am probably gonna buy that. It's actually double gun magazine size. If you use an toy weapon, that's gonna be amazing. Especially something with vengeance, where this will decimate bosses. But this thing can lag your game though. It has a large blast radius, 48.7 on it. Not a fan of the manual transmission. Donkey's so much better than that thing. Those saw blades will pile up the damage quickly. They only last 1 second, that's because they explode, which makes sense. And it can come enchanted. It used to cannot be enchanted. When this game first came out, it was not a good gun. It was pretty weak in the beginning of the life cycle. Till they buffed the thing. Fortunately, they nerfed a freaking rogue imp. Did Skulldugger needed really not a freaking nerf after the liquid cooling. I'm keeping that one. Raging Harbinger is great for survivability. As long as you can keep your activating actions. Yep, that's actually pretty easy with a barrage. Even though it's a 30-second cooldown for a one-off action skill. Despite that, it's a good action skill, generally. But you can't use your action skill active with it at all, which most of the best enchantments come from that. Like the action skill active companion. I'm gonna sell it because it's poison berserker. Clawbringer can use anything, but Clawbringer, in my opinion, is still the weakest class in the game, despite its many buffs that it has. Those were just volatiles, they were just gonna get sold anyway. I do not like being a stupid roam for like 15 minutes. A lot of problem people, as it's, you get all this stuff, takes a while to get, especially when you're trying to go out in chaos level. Picking these up and selling them just takes as long as going to the chamber itself. You should do it. If you did that special one, you can easily take an hour in here selling all these things. But by then, you're most likely most likely gonna get what you want. There's so many of these things drop. There's no need to even carry these. I'm gonna sell all of them. Buy this before it's too late. Who knows, $8 million. Way too expensive. I'd like to see the Gearbox rebalance the costs on these. At least give the stuff that are not item of the day a chance to be a legendary. Other than the occasional one. Now we applies all these vending machines. I do not think the rain arrow is as good as people say. I haven't had the best of. I have not had the best use of this gun. I say it's overrated. This is often the arrows that drop don't even do that much damage. You can easily get killed in the arrows. Same with the front of the hole that I kill myself with a black hole too many times. Well, clear out. I cleared out a lot of this bank. Most of my chaotic and base gear. And some things I don't even need. $12 million. And the extended version of that would be like 24 million if it's not enchanted. The dual beam on this is not cut in Chaos 100. Needs to be scaled back a bit on the enemy health. So it went from like 19 times as max to 45.5 times. A little more than double what the max was. Even though at Chaos 50 is only 15 times extra HP compared to what it was. And the send is much easier to get than it used to be. The help the statue does not get destroyed is way over there. These trolls are tanky as heck. Even the non-badass versions have as much health as badasses from other enemy types, like the skeletons. Those skeletons don't have a lot of health, and they're rather weak as well. Most of the white Alpha enemies are quite weak, in my opinion. Except for the raid boss, obviously, and the bone crabs. Wow, I just choose the crystals and not the curse version. You get better results with the crystals than you do with the Dragon Lord. Despite the higher risk of what the extra curse poses. These ones is really tanky, but he got absolutely wrecked. Well, goodbye, trolls. Now stop your trolling on the internet. You're fantasy trolls, not internet trolls. But you're still trolls. What's this legendary? I'm wasting time. So, trying to look at it. Decent roll, but I'm not gonna pick it up. Gun magazine size is a decent one to have. And it means less rerolling, which means less time you're rerolling, more DPS. Obviously, the all damage out is better. Well, combine the magazine times to reload, so you're not spending way less time reloading your guns. The other one was a treasure. And these chaos trials will always be the same, as long as you're on the same chaos level, of course. And different chaos levels is different, but on the same chaos level, it's always going to be the same. Which means no randomness of that stuff. No, you cannot ever get the DLC areas in a chaos trial for good reason. Obvious reasons. Same with the featured runs, they'll never be DLC versions. Not that I know of, and it'd be nice to have an increased chance to get something like a brutal stampede, which is really good on the companion build. Likely the better armor after the seal manual got fixed. But the extra cost for attacks still like extra damage and stuff. Healing Vengeance or Render Rupture. That one was butt standing on the chest. I'm gonna choose butt standing, obviously. It was high loot lock, it's not really that useful. I still have my loot lock gear on. Holy knockback. Knockback is certainly a freaking pain in these higher chaos levels. The more damage to deal, the more knock you back. It's the shirt rod dust begotten. Oh, the Blightcaller's worst enemies, these stupid coiled. You can't activate the Spirit Swarm when the enemy's immune to the freaking status effect that you're trying to put on. This is why I got a cryo weapon. This fragment range is great for spreading the contagion. That's an ascended ancient deity. Basically a freaking neutered old god. That'd be actually nice to have, because we're specializing in poison damage as absorb and reflect. The few things that the old god has over this thing, it spawns with 3 extra modifiers instead of along with the legendary special effect. This one only spawns with 2. This one makes you take more physical damage, which that's not a good thing to have in Chaos 100. Take 20% extra physical damage. Where most of the enemies' attacks are going to be physical damage. I wish there was enchantments that raise physical damage and which would raise physical damage. This physical damage falls behind it. elements because of that. Plus, there's no class that specializes in physical damage either at the moment. There's also no character that specializes in area damage either. But the Berserker does have area damage in his skill tree though, but it does not specialize in area damage. Which if you're going to classes, you just put those in. One thing, most of the classes will specialize in an element. And for the Clawbringer is fire and lightning. The Blightcaller it's poison. Frost. The Berserker it is frost. And for the Greyborn it's dark magic. Can't forget that. Basically, it's kind of like the radiation replacement. Except radiation was better in my opinion. Because enemies would explode if you had radiation status effect on them. Which did quite a bit of damage. Well, he helped out in the mobbing sections. Although radiation isn't as good as against a boss, because you can't really take advantage of the explosion afterwards. And it's one of my favorite sounds in Borderlands 3. You get those, shoot an enemy, it dies, you go get this. Oh, sacred ground. Not one of my favorites. Is you have to stand in them to get the objective. Depending on the enemies, it can be annoying to even stay on the thing. If you're fighting against the sharks and crabs, they'll knock you straight off the thing. And the trolls as well, because those have a lot of knockbacks as well. In the Chaos Trial, you'll get a lot of those. Trust me. Your main goal in the Chaos Trial is to get the Chaos level up, obviously. I still use the single wing even against the group of enemies. Is the doll beam only attaches to one extra target and is like almost 4 times weaker than the single beam on a single target. It's actually pretty decent, but do we want spell damage on the Berserker? No. Maximum health is very useful on a Greyborn and Berserker combo. That's what paradigm spell damage, which is that'd be useful to get the extra melee ability damage. Because Greyborn grants a lot of spell damage, not as much as you on as a spell shot though. It's a spell shot as spell weaving. Toothless. Like, I would choose a stupid Toothless. No way. Or Dragon Lord. Technically, if you're gonna go through these as quickly as possible, you don't. You just don't. Shouldn't really put them at elite. Especially if you got a bunch of god rolls on you already. There's no really point in doing that. Full extended gear on a, if on like Chaos 20, someone is going to obliterate the enemies. Unless you have super low myth rank. Come on, why would you not have low? Why would you have low myth rank if you're basically at Chaos 100 anyway? The plague on likes to set off these stupid barrels. It's also got a long cooldown. What do you expect from it? Lasts like 20 seconds. So you're gonna expect that. And certain builds like a berserker combo that's gonna last pretty much forever if you, as long as you keep killing enemies. As that skill generates a 20% in duration. It is not useful. The Reach for Bones is based on your maximum health. Whether at that point it doesn't even matter. Even if you have the kill skill, even if you have kill skills on cast, it would be useful for the Dreadwind because you cannot cast spells in Dreadwind at all. Which is no point in taking that skill if you have a Wave 1 Berserker combination. You can't even spec into that skill in the first place if you go into the full tree anyway. You can't have 2 capstones. Maybe if we can get something triple class, which I doubt that's gonna even happen. I don't know if we're even gonna get any level caps at all. Borderlands 2 had too many of those, in my opinion. When they first done it, should be straight to 60, then like 72, and like 80 or something. I think 72 is the highest they're gonna go. But they might go to 80 like in Borderlands 2. Sharing tether isn't a big deal for the most part. Unless you're running past this enemies, which you're not going to be doing that most of it all in the Chaos Chamber anyway, because why would you do that? You wouldn't be able to complete the roam. You have to kill the enemies. It's required. Oh, this stupid one, son of a witch. Go in the freaking Plague Storm, you stupid idiot. Good thing the Plague Storm has a wide radius. But that can often be a bad thing, because every barrel in the area is going to blow up. And even worse when you have a bunch of status effect damage put on you. Hero stats. 84% extra status damage. These are like, both of these are like 52.6. That's like a 140, 130. Oh, actually 140 because if you get the caustic and you hit an enemy, that's actually 30. That's a 170. That's a 210. With this, it's wow 250. That is a lot. Extra status effect damage. Plus you have when you get this, it's 270. If you're afflicted with a status effect, it's like that'd be like that's 78% for both of these. Unfortunately, these do not give extra poison status effect damage. They only give poison status effect chance and duration. Highest this can go in status effect damage is 52%. I believe you can get like 350. It's pretty much the maximum you can get. I'm not sure on that though. This is basically relegated utility. But that 30% extra, the crossbolt chance, that's basically double damage from that procs. It doesn't go any higher because it does not stack like that anymore. White Riders, some of which will drop these. That's an ascended, but that's only a that's a 1 amp consumption. This was a 440 with a 2 amp consumption, which basically makes its base damage 880. Because it's basically double the damage. This is an I card. Actually, it would be a 1.6 total because naturally those reduce the damage by 20%. The actual projectile ones. The ones that double them are minus 30%. Ones that add 1 are minus 20%. Minus 24% if it's a one that raises mag size. So I don't get that. Why the magazine size parts reduce the base damage? Why that's not a very good part in general. At the burn, look at that bottom. It's 3,141. And the tier, the chaos secret, it's not even list that. If that actually lists that, that would be like almost. That would be like 62,000 times 6. But it does not display like that. Same with the recharge rate, that does not actually go up with the chaos level. Only the capacity does. Visually. I don't know if that increases it in actual combat. While on paper it stays the same. Head of the Snake. That's not my favorite one because Pixies are so. Pixies and the wing guns are so much better than the Hydras in my opinion. The Hydras only stay in one place and those cap out at 6. I don't know what's the cap for the wings of the Pixies. Those used to be 3 cap, but not anymore. Phantomasium. Mage Shaft. This melee weapon needs a freaking buff. Especially how inconsistent melee damage is in this game. We should get extra damage from tiers. Borderlands 3, when that Mayhem 10 came out, the melee did not scale with the melee level whatsoever, making melee completely useless at the time. Even the face puncher was useless for the sake of damage before the AM scaling on the melee damage. Which from that, when the melee started getting melee scaling, that's where the face puncher became so overpowered. It's because of that. Plus, with the you got the gun scaling when you get Mayhem 10 drop on it. Mayhem 10 is guaranteed in Mayhem 10, unlike the Chaos 100 and Ascended, which is only a 50%. Look at that dark magic efficiency, 72, 76.2. Unfortunately, that's not a dark magic element, which makes that thing kind of moot. So I want those to have the dark magic. If it spawns a dark magic efficiency at all, especially for a Greyborn. Because with a Greyborn, you're not really going to use other elements, because there's not many enemies that are really resistant to dark magic anyway. Although although you always get the 10% damage penalty, no matter what enemy type it is, but that's not a lot of damage lost. Plus, the dark magic work on any type of art, regardless of what you set it up to. Relaxed, intense, balanced, it doesn't matter. That does not change. Unlike with the other elements' weak points, unfortunately, the damage increased. One that's strong against doesn't increase in damage for regardless of difficulty you set it. It's going to be the same 25% extra damage. For the frost, only like 15% extra damage, which fortunately that is not a lot. It's 50% extra damage is not that much. Definitely pick this up. Like any other ones that spawn with all damage. The Bradlock can never spawn with all damage. It always spawns with double loot lock roll. And the double loot lock roll can get on the other amulet. The revolts, I don't know how to pronounce it, but revolts amulet will always have the 56% extra loot lock, along with the lightning and spore ward and damage. considering it's a extended version. Thought maybe the Joker would come in. Still me, oh lord. I'm not in. I've not had much luck with the views lately, but this game's quite dead, to be honest. And Chaos 100 made the enemies that much more tankier. But you don't even have to go to play on Chaos 100 to get sended gear, so the 75 is a good stopping point. Because if you're going for the Mirrors of Mystery, it's going to be for Lost Souls, which in my opinion is not even worth it at all, because for the Chaos Chamber, you select what piece of gear type you want, whereas it's completely random in the Wheel of Fate. The Wheel of Fate's mostly for the DLC gear, but once you beat all difficulty fall on DLCs, you can get those things, the gear anywhere, which plus if that Wheel of Fate takes kind of forever to spin, especially when you get a bunch of Lost Souls. Like if you had 10k Lost Souls, I mean, you can be looting those for like hours, which nobody wants to do that. Especially when if all that turns out to be garbage. Like, that'd be like hours for freaking nothing. And you don't, if you're going for the cosmetic for the DLC, it's really only good for, most of what it's good for is getting the cosmetics. Like, I'd have much better chance of getting Vengeance, splurging the crystals, and the assault rifle money. I do not like the Bladecaller. The Bradlock's even worse, because sometimes I instantly downed Fate Maker, which is no fun. Trust me, I've plenty of times I've gone down at the Wheel of Fate or the Chaos Chamber Road, especially when the boss runs first came out. That if you lose your money, what's the price of SUs and weapons and stuff? That's not a good thing. Even though it's only a 2%, but when you have like 100 million, you're gonna lose 2 million gold. And don't get me started on when you respec all that money. That's at 10%. That could also that should be reducing cost if you have if you have a billion, that's 100 million gold lost. But basically, if you have a billion, you're not gonna get that in a short amount of time. Even on Chaos 100 with the get 400% more gold. I spent more time talking than actually selling this unwanted stuff. That would actually be useful because people think of the Grey One as what is its strength? Chucking guns at the enemies. Whether you're throwing the wing guns, the pixies, or the hydras, it's Grade 1 is the place for that. Although the Stabbomancer and Spell Shot can pull off more damage at once, just because the double knot is so overpowered. And the fact that the double knot can crit as well makes it even more overpowered. Blast Gas, on the other hand, cannot. That makes it useless with the protagonizer useless with it, because protagonizers for get as much ability critical damage as possible. Which can actually get devastating amounts of damage with something like the Dire Sacrifice. I haven't seen the internet slow on this thing at all. Well, it might record like 8 minutes, save 8 minutes, which freaking suck. So I hate when that happens. It's like worse than getting like one view. I'd rather have one view like 2-minute stream than an 8-minute live stream has like 100 views. Because I care about seeing the progress I had made. Video. Having 8 minutes destroys like that, like my Courier live stream at 1.4.4, which can't be happy about that. Well, I'm going to shut my mouth and just get out of this place. Spend enough time in this room anyway. Selling the gear that you don't even want. Unfortunately, I had these times like I had to feel like watch for like 5 minutes, not for that to count as a view at all. Like, really? Oh, you gotta hear that. Unfortunately, that's what the headset makes, like the wide versions. You get that sound. It has that sound again. Less of a problem with the wireless versions is you don't hear that. Yeah, I can hear the I can hear the headset doing that. I try to put that thing as tight as I can. Let's try to get an action skill active, increase poison damage. You know, after them it's only 35%. I don't know if it's multiplicative with the poison version though. I'm guessing that would be additive with the poison extra damage. We don't want dark magic. Oh, melee damage. Yeah, not taking that. We don't even have a melee build. If I was running a melee build, I'd have a live wire on hand. Because this is not due to chain landing on a melee attack, like the live wire. But the non-legendary version of the live wire won't do that with a melee either. But still those can chain. Just not as often. They don't do as much damage either. The live wire is not good against a single target. That's how that thing works. It's a mobbing piece of gear. Well, this can have dual beam or single beam, but I think the single beam is way better than the dual beam. Unless you're going against for weak enemies, it doesn't really matter the damage what you do. Like on a Chaos Zero. Also, this thing is an issue with creating the enemy. That's because the beam goes to center mass instead of the face. It's like certain guns in Borderlands 3 that I'm talking about the Bladecaller alien build assault rifles. Those would go to center mass. The Mountain 1 Polymoris does that too. Center mass. And also the Hotfoot Teddy flamethrower weapon does that too. It's only flamethrower that does that. The regular tour versions only shoot the stream at the enemy, nothing else. Watch your step. I'm not going to choose Elemental Overflow. It's not a good hard version to take. The good ones to take for the hard are Sailing Tether, the out damn dot for the most of the time. Spectral vengeances, those death skulls don't take. They have far less health than the Borderlands 3 counterparts, which those have a lot of health. Plus, those ones in Borderlands 3 don't even get you out to fight for your life when you kill them, unlike the Wonderlands versions. Plus, they disappear after the room is cleared out. Wish that would be the case with the Frost Buddies. Those things are super freaking annoying. Man. If you get caught in nowhere, you're gonna get slowed down. You can't be moved, but get out of the way. Unless you have a bunch of movement speed boost. And even then, if you get caught in it, you're gonna go slow. Easy one is party time. The hard one is buff buddies. I don't like the buff buddies either. Unlike its Borderlands 3 counterpart, it makes the enemies take less damage. Plus they heal, and on something like a Chaos 100, that's not good at all. You don't want the enemies to basically heal all the damage you dealt to them, which sucks. All the ones that Borderlands 3 do is you show the health of the enemy, but well, most of the time they're gonna go down really quickly anyway. Unless you have garbage gear in AM10, which if you have garbage gear in AM10, you should be farming good guns. I'm looking for one of these with triple turtle, but I've not found it. Given how rare the triple same is anyway. Especially if it's a triple amp. Those aren't as rare as the ones in Borderlands 3 because there's less shield mods. But anyway, still super rare. I only had 2 of those drop. I actually only had. I only remember 1. It's a base version, which might be the best because the Chaos here does not increase the recharge rate. At least it doesn't appear that way on paper. These curse grabs are so freaking mean. Nobody likes those cursed crabs at all. Evil-eyed crabs teleport everywhere. And no one likes teleporting enemies. That's why I hate Freeskull so much, because he'll keep teleporting. He's a bone type enemy that's resistant to frost damage. And bone types are generally resistant to fire. Less so in the relax, but when you get the intense, you do 30% less damage to them. That's a Deathless Mantle. Let's switch here. I'm looking for a good Deathless Mantle, to be honest. I've not really found one. Maybe I could do Ash Dragon for one of those, the Joker. Because the dragon did give me the Scarlet Claw. Which at the time the magic magic bullets and whatever magic bullets. Magic bullets didn't boost the double knot. But that was a good reason that was changed. That was changed to be the gun damage instead of the actual bullet damage. It definitely contributed how overpowered the spell shot was, still is. Well, do I want to fight the bonded hog? Do I have gun damage rings? Because I'm going to need them. I definitely do. That's a double rolled fealty oath. Unfortunately, these rings are bugged at the time. I am going to pull out my sword explosion. This thing's that darn good. Not the impact mode though. Definitely this. I don't know if I can actually destroy these because I don't have a lot of gun damage on the character. No one of these things is so waste of freaking time. I'm probably gonna fail this. Nope, I don't. I did it. Now to go back to status damage. Plus, I did not even have the ideal shield for it. That was not very smart. The mind runes, the action skill start increase down for 20% for 20 seconds, which is quite a bit of time. Especially if you can get an action skill cooldown under 20 seconds, which you can like with the barrage and stuff. The Perceiver is actually really good if you got a bunch of crit damage bonuses. Feeds off that very well. So underrated gun. Smart armor is best on the Stabbo. Because otherwise it reduces crit chance by 50%. Well, if you have really good aim, then that's a really good class mod to use. Not class mod, armor. This ain't Borderlands 3. Even though it may look like it because of the guns. But Borderlands 3 does not have the magic barrels. It has the alien barrels in its place. Honestly, I generally think the magic barrels are much better than the alien barrels, because most of the alien barrel weapons are trash. At least the regular ones. Legendary ones, different story. Legendary ones and the Torg versions are a different story. This Torgs has some of the best alien barrel weapons in the game, like the Bunkle's actually pretty good. The Protuberance was at one time amazing, it's still really good though. the blister that pretty much fell off the map once Man 10 came. The weakest ones, the lumps was always pretty good. Better than the Rhino, I can tell you that. The Rhino does not actually do that much more damage and it consumes more ammo. Although it's 8 versus 6. Lump still consumes a lot of ammo. Why? I wish they put the North Fleet in Borderlands 3, but Plague Bearer is just as good as North Fleet is anyway. Except the Plague Bearer cannot go through walls, which the North Fleet has a big edge on that. But you can basically shoot a Plague Bearer in the air and it just take care of anything in your path for you. Especially when the Yellow Cake got heavily nerfed. That was not even a big surprise at all, because when Mayhem 10 had the times 126 health, everybody used the Yellow Cake. But if you did not have had a good build, even the Yellow Cake, you were going to struggle back then. The level cap was only 57, which means all you can really do, could do, is 2 capstones. Then it got reduced 101 times, but still there was not many viable weapons, even with that lowered HP, till the Bounty of Blood came out, which that DLC was such a freaking game changer for that Borderlands 3. So many weapons from that DLC was super good. Like the light show, the beacon, the flipper, the complex route, and all that. Gargoyle was really good as well. The hero was not as good when it first released, but that weapon turned out to be awesome once they buffed that thing. Double its base damage. I think it's slightly worse than the light show is still. Well, if you got a bunch of splash damage, expecting to, that's gonna really raise the damage. It's splash damage was multiplicative. A big damage increase. Especially if you have a air effect damage on the class wad and the artifact. There were a few guns in DLC that were bad though, like the Mutter 2 and Chandelier. Man, those guns suck. Yeah, I've used the Chandelier and I did not even freaking like that at all. The Mutter 2 was a little bit better, but still, that was a terrible gun. Especially when the TDR companions did hardly any freaking damage, because they didn't receive damage bonuses from most sources, exception with the elemental weakness. the Merv grenades was so much way better, and those benefiting from gun damage, from grenade damage, and all that, all damage dealt. Plus, if you have the Minesweeper, that's gonna destroy. Especially if you have a Minesweeper and a Guardian Angel, and you chuck a bunch of to your Mervs and just switch to the Guardian Angel. The Minesweeper crit grenades are gonna take care of that. Big time. I should show a beta of that against Hemovorus. Try that sometime. I should be uploading more videos, but I haven't hardly did any showcases on this game at all. Despite doing so much for Borderlands 3. A big part of it was because this game went so downhill after the first DLC. Honestly, even DLC 1 was better than freaking Arms Race. Arms Race is still the same 10 minutes, except it's $50. If it weren't for the designs cut making things so good, probably been the worst one. It's still the worst one in that game, though. I don't count cosmetics because that's not gameplay. Those are very optional anyway, so Borderlands 3 did not use premium currency. Just straight up regular DLC, not microtransaction currency. Why those still exist in paid games? Those should stick to the free-to-play models. Which, to be honest, most of those games that microtransactions are free-to-play anyway, or heading towards that route. Like Destiny. Honestly, Destiny 2, microtransactions aren't that bad in that game. This can because Bungie made a good job making them not make them pay to win. Nobody likes pay to win. Why would I pay to win? Play to win, not pay to win. Take the easy way out. I guess you could call cosmetics microtransactions, but I reserve that for the ones that require premium currency. I don't consider the ones strict. I don't consider the ones from the the platform storefront. Why am I not getting out? Well, I should have got out of Save Your Soul. Just think clearly you can see the enemies dying there. Whatever. All I do is lose a life out of my 5. Which is... I cannot see. Which freaking sucks. You would normally go down that click with how powerful the Spirit Swarm is anyway. Does not take as long as those ones that are on the Chaos in the World. Plus, those weren't balanced with the mosquitoes man all at all. These aspects. Frozen orbs. I have not even tried this thing out. Because I think this spell freaking sucked before its buff, anyways. But I have not tried it out since. The spell was bugged. And what contributed to my denies surprisingly went down rather quickly, even with these loot lock accessories. Not my normal I would normally use. If I had my poison Blightcaller, he would not even last. Probably wouldn't even last 10 seconds. What do you give me? It's nothing I want. This does have a dark magic efficiency and dark magic on it. For an overfull blood bag, that's what you want on it. The Blightcaller will actually improve the damage of the dark magic because it's considered an element. It's only 25% for max stacks, though. But that's almost like 50% if you have the highest Blightcaller power possible. That would be like 49.8%. That's like 45%. Minus the Blightcaller power. Like almost 70% if you have it maximum you can get. Listed 99%. Till level cap increases or you get a new tier of Chaos gear. Which I believe that Sender was the last you can get. And I don't think the Chaos level is going to go above 100 anyway. Would you at least give me what I freaking want? Thank you. Not all those flipping stuns, which can only roll with lightning damage. Which limits the versatility of that amulet, unfortunately. why it's lightning elemental, because the lightning tail it produces and extra melee damage turns into lightning damage. Nice for a melee build, but you do have to be sliding. Oh yeah, feel free to comment. Fire rate all damage dealt. Fire damage Blightcaller. I guess I'll take that. Just in case. Primordial Harbinger. Not a slip and stun. Those are just regular purple rarity things. Amulets. But that is gun magazine size. Why I would take the gun magazine size? I'm gonna pick these to waste more ammo. They don't even last 30% longer either. Doesn't extend the time at all. Just makes you waste more ammo. You got the class companions. Those are basically don't even do any damage in Chaos 100. Plus they die a lot as well. Even with something that we reload it, regenerates the health, they still go down too quickly. Unlike flax pets, which survive almost anything in the game. Might keep that. Maybe I will. That's a definite keep. That's not the rolls I want on it. Or the type of amulet I want. Probably have a better one than that. Blaze Gore, that goes good with the fire damage. You deal 30% bonus fire damage in Save Your Soul, which is not all that much when you think about the Save Your Soul duration it takes away. Not necessarily worth it. Alright, Magic Blightcaller. At least when I get up in the gas levels, this send is gonna drop more. Up to 51%. Fortunately, that's not 100% in Chaos 100, unfortunately. Which would actually make this going to Chaos 100 way better. Because then you wouldn't have to worry about primordials and stuff. I'm taking all those to the bank. I should create a mule for the other stuff in case I run low on those. especially the switching one, because man, the freaking bank is super slow in this game. It's not even funny. Been like that since they tried to fix it. Fix the gun, the current gun on it not even showing up. Just made it. One of the many reasons that people quit on this game, because when you're looking at it in the bank and it has so much stuff in it, it's where you get one you want. And I've actually had a gun that a Hyperius SMG spawned with magic barrel parts on a non-magic barrel SMG, the Cowboy to be exact, the regular purple one. I should be checking these out. I decided not to keep that, so. Why do I get these Blaze of Glories? Oh, these Blaze of Glories that I don't even want. And these only drop in the Chaos Chamber, with the exception of the mini event they had. But usually these only get these in the Chaos Chamber, which for Chaos Chamber exclusive drop is not even a good one at that. Hi. And the purple sawmill that kind of ruined that gun. They decrease its damage, but they decrease the ammo consumption on it by 1. Normal ammo consumption on it by 1. Comes up to 3 if you get a ×4 version. But if you got a Bladecaller, that's not a big issue, because Bladecaller and multiple projectiles, way it's balanced now is really adds up. Plus it makes the low base damage weapons that more powerful, like the live wire and stuff. That's the double magazine size roll, but I'm not looking for primordials anymore. How did I pick this up? I'm gonna sell it. What did I sell? Oh. Well, glad I sold that, because it's a Berserker Claw ring on a pendant Macium. We're not really doing poison damage with that class combination, so. In my opinion, actually, the explosion on it doesn't do that much damage, to be honest. Only a little bit extra damage. Mismatic males better use the poison status effect damage anyway. That correctly increases the status effect damage and can increase the status effect chance. For the unknown, I'm not sure that Brave One's capstone activates that, but I gotta try that. Because it's not a one that's on the skill tree. Well, if you need help, just tell me. Well, back 53 in the backpack. I already went through this Chaos 100 with the dead shot. Well, it still gives me only one Chaos level for completion. Not liking this, because it's generally like a run with this would... A great run would be like 8 minutes. 10 minutes or so. But if you're struggling, it can be like 30 minutes, which is a lot of time. Just to get through one chamber. And that's most likely when you just start the game. Where you don't have any myth rank at all.
Do you have any cash in
Yeah. In the winter jacket. Oh, it's either Bucks Downing or the Dragon Lord. Dragon Lord just give me extra crystals, so Bucks Downing give me a buff. But I don't really even need the buff, so I can destroy these enemies like super quickly. Oh, this Impaler. At least it's not resistant. Really, the worst one to be resistant to is the poison. At least I got other elemental weapons I can use. This thing isn't necessarily good for single targets, though. It's a good gun overall, but the regular trial magic rail SMGs are better for single targets than that. It shines against the multiple targets. Wow, I didn't complete this. That sacrificial skeet was no help at all. Big weakness in my build. It's all poison, and when you get poison resistant enemies out the wazoo, you're not going to get as much damage out of it. That's why I'm using the different elemental weapon. That's the damage I wanted to see. This thing excels when there's a bunch of enemies near it. But if I wanted to go against a single target, I would just use the Deodin. Like that. I got some legendaries. I really should not be having this Revolt's Amulet and this is a purple rarity shield with 25% loot luck. I could get a better shield than that with that enchantment. That enchantment is a rare enchantment. And it got that capacity of 6,000. Its base is 37k. 3.7k, not 37. 37k would be 37,000. I'm never going to choose Elemental Overflow. Anarchy is not a big deal because this will lock on enemies anyway. Plus the extra 20% gun damage really helps. Obviously, feed more motes is first three in a chaos trial will always be the same side objective. Oh, stop it, you frost buddies! Get out of my face! Nobody likes those things. They just want to do nowheres every time you go near them and freeze the fate maker to death while I'm at it. While they're at it. I hate how finicky these things are to pick up. You have to get super close to these the motes. Yeah, if I wipe that feed keep the fire sprite alive, that wouldn't have been bye-bye to the sprite. Because it takes like 30 seconds to revive the fate maker. Even with something with the SSD instead of a hard drive, doesn't matter. This skill was once super broken. Still really good for my build though, because the new status effect does so much more damage than my initial one. Especially if it rolls with poison. I have gotten 1 million on a tick with the Spirit Swarm. Of course, the setting was relaxed. So why did I farm the Chaos Chambers on any other difficulty? The Golden Moon Orbs bonus of the Intense is not really worth it. Especially on a high Chaos level, it's 15% extra. It's not going to make a dent how much gold you get. Because unfortunately, it's still additive instead of multiplicative with the Chaos level modifier. Oh, Ellie, Hammerhead. These things should get out of my face. Stupid frozen vengeance. Go somewhere else. At least they do damage to the enemies. So that's something. Like the nasty spill would damage the enemies. But sometimes you don't actually want that because you don't get out of you don't get a death save if the puddles kill an enemy, which can make you wipe a few times. Why would I? Why so much? People use Buffmeister because if you're not using spells to attack enemies, might as well use the Buffmeister, or even the fortifying sigil. If you don't have a Buffmeister or want extra survivability that the Buffmeister does not give. But the Buffmeister has a lot higher damage potential. Goodbye, Spear Maiden. Get wrecked. Even look like I'm destroying these enemies. Side objective fail because it's melee damage. I don't even have a melee build. Although I have a slamming salmon with caustic on it. Not gonna choose real light. I don't use that most of the time. Sometimes I would do that if I don't have a build that's not gonna go down much. I could Berserker Grave Warden. Grave Warden. Grave Ward. Graveborn. I am using Mismatic Mail. It's on 71. I'm super confident this will be able to destroy Chaos 100 though, 'cause especially when you're doing 400k damage a tick with a Spirit Swarm and stuff. I hate these stupid curse crabs. Okay, Roxanne, why are you gonna give me active decay? Great. That's the one I probably wanted. It's extra poison damage. Yeah, I do have a cannonballer. The White Rider is probably one of the best ones for this build. The sword explosion is always super good. I have a few other weapons: a Vengeance, Rogue Imp, Fragment Rain, Donkey, Ascended Ruby Spite, a Primordial Magic Barrel Parabole. Not the best weapon. It kind of does the job though. The Merlin's Razor's super wonky on the PS4, so I'm not going to use that. Most time I use this gun. It goes through the enemy. It doesn't do any damage. And then 2 seconds, like 10 seconds later, you see all that damage. Pretty wonky. A physical body rocker. A caustic bloodshot. Hawkins Wrath. A triple penetrating body rocker. Which doesn't actually say that it's RR because there's no suffix that for when it has 3 projectiles like that. Like Borderlands 3. Love the Nightshade. And its counterparts like the Spriggan and the Oden. The Blazing Volley. Got a Wizard's Pipe. Live Wire. Ascended version. Blue Rarity Dealed In. Ascended Carouser. I have a Diamond Guard Sword, which I'm not equipping because I want this enchantment on it. I think this would be a better choice than the Simon Salmon because it goes super well with Contagion. I got a body rune which I'm not equipped it yet. Just using the line rune. Wicked Gopsit. And these for the loot lock gear. I should probably change these though. Double Demon Blights. Got a Bridges Auger and the Shield. Mine rune, which is what I've been using to this point. Although, like, Mash rune, pretty good for the Spirit Swarm because it's technically a companion. Undead Pact. Still got a Bronco Bust on me. Sacrificial Skeep. A Thurge. We got a Frenzied Wrath, a Dark Magic Blightcaller. A double roll, all damaged out. Pretty nice. I don't have it, not equipped it though. Why do I still have Chaotic Amulet though? Universal Soldier, which I should really throw that away, but I am not. Some armor. Still have a blank sight on me. I don't even use this though, because what's the point? Pandemasiums. A few other rings. Fealty O for your gun damage. I use the Rainbow Bolt time and time. I'm not even carrying any Buffmeisters, which probably should get one for this. If I'm not using the third, because Buffmeister generally has one of the longest cooldowns of any spell in the game, for very good reason. It's a buff for like 8 to like 13 seconds if you get all duration on it. We get old Zomboss. The worst thing about this boss is it throws those magical projectiles that do a ton of damage. You can't really farm this boss over and over anymore because he'll permanently die, which he didn't, which why he keeps respawning like after you wipe a fast travel in the same map. Fast travel on any other map respawning other boss anyway. But that trick can also still be used on the Chums. Except Chums is quite a bit tougher. times they ascended, rain arrows on the machines. Alright, I'm gonna ignore them because I don't need whatever in them. Times 4 Arcane Bolt. Which is another spell I use from time to time. This goes especially good with third, because if you get a critical hit with this thing, it's gonna decrease the cooldown on the spell, and the third, when you cast a spell, it decreases the cooldown on the action skill, which is something like the place on. That's pretty amazing because that has a base cooldown of 60. Dragon's Joint Training. I don't really use the joint training because Faint make critical hits, increase companion critical hit chance by 80% for 60 seconds. Companion critical hits increase Faint make a critical hit damage for 30%. Nice bonus, but that's not a consistent bonus though. Feed this old Chaos Bunny. We can feed 200 crystals at once now, which means like still a lot of holding square, or I think it's X on an Xbox. Oh yes, it is. It's, the X button on Xbox is on the left side of the face buttons. This game's not for the not on the Switch though. If it was on the Switch, it'd be the Y button, but this is not on the Switch because not even Borderlands 3 is on the Switch because Switch can't even really handle Borderlands 3. Well, the Tales of the Borderlands is actually on the Switch. Whoa. Let's look into these amulets. I just stole those without even a second thought. The joint training. Bradlock, I don't even need that. No sacrificial skeet, but probably not going to sell that. I really want poison on it. A barbell load, dark magic, Greyborn, only loot lock on it though, so probably going to sell that. I'm just going to leave the purple and blues on the ground. Otherwise, we'd take longer in this room. Frost damage berserker. I don't even see anything I want out of this, so it's all gonna get souls. I really want to release the all damage down on these. I think they'll dip again on crossbolts that go to other enemies. See, the Mosquito Man doesn't not double dip anymore. I've not noticed about doing that though. That's a frenzied wrath. Oh, these things are in the way. Satisfact chance. It's only a primordial. Oh, I should have equipped these from the beginning. I always forget to do that after I exit the chamber. Oh, the Chaos Trial. I think I'm gonna end this after I reach Chaos 75. Oh, look at that knockback. I was not even expecting that. Not knockback in that sense. Poor old troll Lich Doctor get wrecked. At least I got some engagement. Oh, the stupid little barrels. Barrels and Playstorm do not mix. Yeah, see, these barrels. barrel did not help me on that. That's for sure. That's why I took all that damage from the stupid barrel's damage over time. Damage over time from the barrels is the worst part of it. You'll often overpower your dark magic healing, even if you're Greyborn. That's part of the reason why I have high capacity shield. If you're looking for a high capacity shield that's easy to get, either the mine rune or the master rune are good choices. They don't have a lot of variation on them. I should not smack that barrel. Smacked it right into a wall. Shooting these skulls kind of a waste of time anyway. Oh, the old sacred ground. Probably should choose the other one so I can see the enemies better from it. Rather than up there with the enemies hiding under the cliff. Not really a very small cliff, but you see how wide that plate storm is? It's a powerful action skill. Because those lightning bolts would do a ton of damage. That's why I want Mismatic Mail that... Oh, it's not... No, these aren't even the best rolls. So, Movement Speed's probably the best one on it, because I'm a Stabbomancer. But the maximum war capacity helps with survivability, and having extra fire rate is always good. Especially this build thrives on doing status effects. Better use of if you're using something like a cannonball, it should use from the shadows. This is a high damage rocket launcher. But the one that likes to bounce everywhere, so be careful of that. I'm not gonna choose Bullet Buddies, I'll just choose Anarchy. By the time you reach Chaos 100, you're gonna pretty much have almost a full set of ascended gear. Maybe a full set if you farm before then. Like, if you're doing the special event featured run, And those will give you a heck of a lot of crystals. Oh, so instead of Trust and Magic, I'm going to choose Trust and Magic so I can get extra survivability. It's a little bit better than extra plus 90 crystals from the hard one. But Searing and Tether is usually not that much of a problem. Unless you like running in between enemies. But I don't typically run in between enemies. Because it's not the best thing to do anyway, is run between enemies. You're just going to take more damage. I hate these stupid elemental clouds. These bloops get bloops send out when I'm, and these clumps and bloops will, when they get damaged, they usually like to send out those stupid elemental clouds that do so much damage. Why don't these despawn after the counter's clear? These stupid bar forms. Mismanaged meal, not the one I want. Collaborating and Spore one. None of those have bonuses to status effect damage. Technically, the carving it does through its dragon aura because it's elemental. Okay, another counter cleared. These things are on my way, so I'm going to collect these. If they were out of my way, I wouldn't even bother, because if these are on the other side of the map, it's not worth going after. Just for a few, just for extra 80 soul crystals. I'm going to try to fight this guy thing again. I gotta switch over to gun damage. Just so I can do as much damage as possible to these things. Unfortunately, I don't have a Buffmeister on me, so that's a no-go on that. One time I would like a Buffmeister destroying these things. Yeah, really wastes a Buffmeister though, because most of the time you're not even using the buff. You're using the Buffmeister unless you're doing this casting spells all the time, like Stabbomancer. Spell spot shot. Like when you're using the laser hand. Okay, the Trust and Magic is not actually plus 50% on the shield capacity. It is actually plus 200%. Just for the cost of half the maximum health, but the half the maximum health is only losing out on, it would be 28 something. For normal max, it's only losing about 1,400 HP. Even the max health build, like a berserker, you take an unarmored defense, that's gonna actually increase your max health a lot. I ain't nullify a freaking buff buddies. I'm just gonna choose buff buddies. I'm not gonna choose nullify because you don't really want that on the fighting a raid boss. And the buff buddies can't really attach to a boss anyway, like it can to mobs. Bosses don't even spawn any of the buddies. Celeste, a lot of people don't like this boss for good reason, because guys that can do so much damage. Just even having the chaos mode active increases the enemy's damage for 50% by default, even though that extra 50% does not even show up on the enemy damage. Okay, let's fight Banded Hog. Shoot at her. Doesn't really do anything to her, but at least it gets to the boss quicker. Now I'm properly geared up, so that play storm is so freaking amazing. Well, actually the Trust of Magic kind of helps on that too, because being a raid boss, it's gonna do tons and tons of damage. Chaos level 73 unlocked. I don't. Yeah, they're going up one at a time. Despite me having a character that's already Chaos 100, still going up by one. Gotta get the loot lock. I always use the loot lock on these, but I ain't really even noticing the effect this thing has. Gun with wings. It's really ain't anything I want, though. I could just pick up every one of these, and that usually takes a while. It's 2:35 on the lapse time. Might eventually get what I want. That's not what I want. I'm just gonna. I'm just gonna grab every one of these things. Just sell them. So I have to nitpick what to pick. Those purple symbols are gonna get in the way when I'm trying to pick up legendary versions of those. I don't care about action skill cooldown rate on a spell shot. Well, that would actually be good for from the shadows. But I'd rather have all damage dealt. Well, maybe I'll just put it in the chest. The bank, not the chest.
I really shouldn't.
You'll say that. I really shouldn't. I got those favorited for a reason. So otherwise I'd accidentally sell those. Don't want to do that. Like that one I picked up was a lightning spore warden because I have the remote amulet equipped in, which always has a lightning and spore warden on it. Well, that is nice, but no. I mean, these sentences will start dropping like candy, so I'm gonna nitpick what I'm keeping. That's a double gun handling for what that's worth. That'll make the guns more manageable, but you really want the damage, not gun handling. That would be suited better for PvP, but doesn't have PvE. Other than the duels, there's no really PvP on this game. Hmm. Maybe if that was a legendary one. Once I get to 75, I will not be seeing these ball tiles anymore. Yep, they're all gonna be gone. Just the primordials and the ascendeds. Once you get to Chaos 50, you will not be seeing base level gear anymore. Just because they're basically useless by that point. That's the Ascended Universal Soldier. Look at all those volatiles and stuff. Goodbye, spell shot. Blackguard Harbinger. Oh, should keep that one. All damage dealt. Dark magic efficiency when health is full. Healing from dark magic increases maximum health. Nice. Even though it's lightning and Callbringer, still very nice. I cannot get anything I really freaking want. Oh. That'll change later. Though, the higher the chaos level, the more crystals you're gonna get per run. Which is very nice. If you can handle Chaos 100, go for it. If you can't, do it at Chaos 75 or something. That's what I do. More Blaze of Glories. Why? Get the most of that out of a fire damage version. That is a good buy for that. Replace it with this Universal Soldier. It has 48.3 status effect damage, which is nice. But it does not boost the Spirit Swarm and stuff, unfortunately. Only the actual gun. That amulet's going in the bank, that one's a Carbringer. That's a single roll version, not even anything below that. Slip and Stun. This had so much potential, but Swift Death does not actually matter how fast you're going. It's when you're moving that takes effect, not how fast you're going. I don't know if that even gave extra damage from the extra movement speed. That's a Scarlet Claw, but anyway, it's Self-Water. Wish I can get a Primordial, Ascended upgrade over what I have. if so that's actually see how fast you are actually moving, the Stabbomancer should be up there with the probably up there with the spell shot. But that's how fast you're moving. Maybe. Should I pick that up? I'm just gonna pick it up. I should not be overlooking these purples though. You might get a double all damage roll on it. They don't even have any special effects, but don't overlook these. Yeah, it might. That should be probably should be capped because dark magic efficiency and all damage dealt. Spend way too much time in this stupid chamber. They all kind of drop in one spot, which makes it easy to accidentally picked up a purple when trying to get a legendary. I don't know why I picked up that ring. Just going through these stuff. A lot of my money's coming from the enemies. Okay. Triple capacity version. I ain't gonna pick that up. It's only a freaking volatile. Plus, it's a Pangoblin version, which I'd rather have a Hyperius version. Especially when you're recovering the world that's based on your capacity. On a Pangoblin, it's not gonna be much. I could farm those anytime. I'm just simply gonna breeze right through this. This one and the next one. If you're going for the level 100 as quickly as possible, you can just skip the bunnies. Gotta get my combat gear on. Let's go to Universal Soldier a little while. $470K. Instant kill on a mob. Wouldn't be instant kill on a badass though, but on the regular. But it almost instantly kill badass. Not quite. Oh, you resistant jerk. And we got this stupid sandstorm. Messing with my view. We ain't choosing roguelite. I'm not gonna even bother with these. Putting these at elite, we're just gonna freeze through these. I'm not gonna get level 75, Chaos level 75, before 3-hour mark. Stop trying to avoid my attacks. Thank you. Good night, Curse Crab. 486K. $39 damage on a non-crit. So amazing. No wonder why. Gun damage. I am going to fail these side objectives because all kill enemies melee damage. Finish enemies with melee damage. Oh, stupid little barrels. No, it likes these things. Get rid of your butt, Cyclops. Same with a badass goblin Bombus. Your rocket launcher is useless to you. Which looks like the actual cannon than a rocket launcher. Oh, all that knocked back. Who dares knock me back? You. I bet it was you. You're a jerk. Looks like, yeah, looks more like a cannon than a rocket launcher. But it fires like any of the rocket launchers you would pick up, like the COVs. Besides, they can also be flamethrowers. why the category is called heavy weapons and not rocket launchers, because well, eventually you had these. Some even shoot heavy lasers like those flat off aiming barreled heavy weapons. See the kick charger for that. The kick charger is an amazing weapon. It's basically a pre-nerf ion cannon that does slightly more damage than the pre-nerfed ion cannon. They didn't actually reduce the ion cannon's damage, but they greatly increased its ammo consumption. They even changed it back. Even though, like, Mayhem mode's almost... Mayhem 2.0 is like 2.5 years old at this point. Your drops. You can keep those. Oh, this one is... We are preventing butt stallion statue from getting destroyed. I gotta know where this thing is so I can protect it. In the worst case scenario, it won't get destroyed. As long as I pay attention to the enemies that are attacking the statue. Sometimes that can be hard when all these enemies are distracting you. Come on, a full gun build. $60K crit. That's without the plague storm active. Ascended Twin Soul, Caustic and Vampire. Vampire is a pretty good one because it's survivability. I just want to rush through these so I can end the stream sooner rather than later. So I plan on going to 75. Okay. Get in here. Boom, they go. This should be the last room before the boss. Hopefully. But Stallion is not having a good time. Get away from her. You don't need to be here. Failing it won't make it any faster anyway. Just slower, because... I plan on rushing this thing anyway, so... Go ahead and destroy it. Oh, this is Parasite. Great, I did not have my place on map. Might not even matter. Thing's gonna go down. I'll take a look at these drops. Well, that's 6 out of 3 in the exploit the weakness, but only 1 in contagion. Other than movement speed, I don't care about those other ones. So, probably not gonna pick that up. That's the high end on Ascended. Wizard's Pipe. I can go check its parts though. To see. That's a critical hit. Does not show on the item card for whatever reason. That's a bug. That also increases critical hit damage and damage. The critical damage does not show up for whatever reason. They have not even fixed it. The stock is where it's missing its damage. The rail does not give extra damage, but I think the real-time version is the best you can get out of that. Magazine of that weapon is always the 45 round one. Plus the 10 from the barrel itself equals 55. It's also missing damage from the shield. So, missing like a extra 10% of damage right there. That might be like 890 something for that weapon. Does have the best critical hit damage you can get on it. But like I said, just gonna leave it on the ground. This is only primordial, not ascended. 12 minutes, whatever. Don't forget these. There's no reason I should not even have these on the character. The DLC required that even have the Blightcaller gives these rings. I'm just gonna straight up leave the place and not even gonna bother with the Chaos Bunny. Well, you did it. Oh, the Chaos Trial. This is the last one we're going to do for this stream. I don't know if I will do the 75 to 100 on camera, though. Let's see if we have 10 minutes. 10, 25, 250 minutes. That would equal like 4 hours, so. Well, I could actually do it, though. You are not resistant to anything, so. Change back to this one right here. I want that extra poison damage for the ball. And the Universal Soldier does not increase the damage of the Spirit Swarm. Because it's not gun damage. Oh, probably gonna fail this. I would have failed. So I had to grab that mode. This is why I like flat down on these things. I don't have to worry about looking up to see enemies or looking down to see enemies when I'm down up high. You only choose one curse there. It's Spectral Vengeance, but whatever. I'm not too bothered by the Spectral Vengeance. The skull itself is kind of easy to kill, and if I don't get close to enemies, that's not going to be a factor. I don't need to be close to enemies. I'm not a berserker. Nor do I have a cursed wit on me. And you don't want a cursed wit with a Wraith Mail active anyway. You know, just look at my skills. And Flawless Edge does not synergize well with Flawless Edge because you need the shield up to have that take effect, and the Curse Wit's effect is active when it's down, not when any portion of the shield is up. What makes that shield even better is they fixed the glitch on it, where it would not have the effect even when the shield is down when you switch the maps. It's a high risk, high reward shield. You're taking the risk because your shield is going to be down and you're going to be close to the enemy. That's why something like that would be nice on a Berserker, like Berserker increases health and stuff. But you'd want an extended version for that. That spawns with capacity. And the Berserker has plenty of ways to recover his life. And health regeneration as well. It says missing health, but that's actually based off of max health and not missing health. We're not going to fight Bunny Hard right now. Not for this one. The body room isn't as risky, and you get life after you kill any enemy. 15% and 20% extra fire, bonus fire damage, not extra fire damage. Extra fire damage would only apply when you're using a fire weapon, but the bonus fire damage will apply to any weapon, regardless of element, frost, poison, dark magic, physical, whatever. The place where it gives extra bonus damage. Gives bonus damage. But I've never been a fan of that amulet, so it's better amulets to use, like a sacrificial steep, which will keep you alive and stuff. As long as you're not getting overwhelmed by these stupid barrels and other junk. Receive the buff to the stallion. From the stallion, not to the stallion. Wouldn't she actually be America's reasons instead of a stallion? These were finished before time runs out. Great. Very, very good. Smooth sailing for these. Don't have to worry about sacred ground or protecting butt stallion or anything. Or even the moat, for that matter. And you don't have to do melee damage and all that crud. Well, if you really only do is using melee damage, you just go for the... I just came back up because I think it was the Nova. This shield is not actually doing Nova, though. Had to be a different barrel that did it. Regardless, I'm back up. Why am I hitting the portals? That ain't gonna do anything. Pressing square on those will, though. That tells you how those enchantments are worth a lot. They don't give as much as anointments in VL3, but when you go into Chaos Hunter and stuff, you need those enchantments. Just like in Borderlands 3, you needed those anointments on Mayhem 10. Well, stuff like the flipper don't need them. Or the light show. You can get away with those weapons. But for like weaker weapons like the barrage, you really need an enchantment for those. Even with enchantments, the barrage isn't super viable either. Swift death. That's extra damage right there. This is Nightmare. You're not even gonna last long though. If those place-on bolts would hit you, you're pretty much screwed. Okay, what do you... A warp paradigm. Clawbringer, Stabbomancer, 35% increase in ability damage, which the Clawbringer and Stabbomancer don't give a lot of, even though this Clawbringer relies heavily on the ability damage, and there's no ability damage roll on the armor itself either. Let's go in this hole and let's get out of this place. 11-11. Chaos 75. If you cannot handle 100, farming on 100, you can recommend that level. Diamond gauntlets don't really use this that much. You have to be stationary to get its bonuses. It's good if you have dark magic, because you're not really avoiding attacks, you're just regenerating your life when you stand. I'm actually... Let's go check out the assault rifles. Maybe I can get a 6x6 ascended vengeance, or maybe ascended ×2 donkey. The rogue gimp might still work though, but that should have been nerfed. Especially when that's at 20% because it's considered to shoot an extra projectile. Plus, you get the on the barrel itself, but that was actually reduced by 18%, which means that does like 66% the damage it used to do. Even though the thing received the buff because the buffed the Skulldugger assault rifles on the, I think it's the second hot fix game received. Why did they lower the dolly assault rifle damage? I don't know. I don't understand that. Yeah, those ones that shot the crossbows could reach like almost 1,000. on the base version. See, that's an ascended, but we want ×2 on it. The more saw blades you get stuck in the enemy, the better the damage you do. You only last 1 second, but even then, that 5% is going to stack real quickly. Plus, its fire rate is 7.5. If that was the ×2, that's actually 15 saw blades per second. That's like 75% increased damage. Then that's a lot. Combine that with a fire rate boost on the characters. You can get like with this skill, like you have the increased fire rate. Swaps the current gun. The bonus is double for duration. If that's 6 out of 3, that's 60% extra fire rate, which means that gun will be firing 16 times a second. Not 16, 12 times a second, and that would be 24%. 24 projectiles per second in that case. With the myth rank and fire rate boost, that you could probably get double that. Probably get like 15 shots a second, which is 30 per second on the projectiles. And this would combine with the spell shots warming up. You'll get insane fire rate. And combine that with not a bad egg, the last gasp. And you also get ammo generation from that, which means you'll be shooting a lot of bullets. And regenerating them. That's even more bullets. And even you do have to reload. You don't have to reload as long. More bullets, more DPS. It's just as risky as the Curse Wit, but Curse Wit would be more risk because you're getting close to targets. You don't have to get close to targets for the last gasp. And I do not mean blast gas. Last gasp shield. This is one of the reasons I want ability damage on the class mod. It's both for the Plaguestone's bolts and the Geist in the Shell. Ability damage has no effect on this Spirit Swarm because it's based off its stats effect damage. So this can actually, Buffmeister can actually boost this, unlike with the regular stats effects, because that's not considered direct damage. Oh. Donkey of the Haunted Castle. Yeah, I got talking and I want to end this. Pant and Rod Suit Car. That's gonna shoot out a lot of crossbolts. Stack that damage quickly. That's in craps later. Very a poor man's vengeance that can come in any element. Who cares about this bread slicer? Sucks. The Corvo also sucks. The donkey is good. That one's a 788 rounds per second. Well, almost 16 if you count it shooting that extra projectile. And we want to know reasons that Corvo sucks. Shoots projectiles in a line. If you're going against small enemies, the only one's going to hit it. And the primary fire rate is horizontal spread, so the vertical spread is a bit better, but if you get going against a short enemy like a goblin, that's going to be a problem. And it doesn't do as much bosses as you would think. It's basically a dictator, none of the power the dictator had in the beginning of Borderlands 3. It's a gun that needs a buff. The Rogan does a lot of damage because it's a ×2 by default. A ×2 that only consumes 1 ammo per shot. Its weaknesses are its magazine size sucks. Its repair time is shorter than other assault rifles with the Skulldugger variety, but 3 seconds on a gun that normally can only shoot like 12 before it breaks. That's a lot of time that enemies are going to take advantage of you. This is why I would use this on a spell shot, because it increases the reload speed. It does shoot out the bats when it breaks, but those only do the same damage as the gun bullets would. Not very impressive. Buff those bats. What's the point of Bed Slicer? Its projectiles just fall straight to the ground. It has to rely on random crit chance. Even though it has a bonus 150 gun critical hit chance. That's only like 12%, 12.5% chance of critting. And throwing a spell at an enemy does a lot more damage. You would use this on the Stabbomancer on the from the Shadows build. You have much better guns for that, like the Blazing Volley. Blazing Volley homes in on enemies. This cannot. the crossbow generator. Not as impressive as you would think. The cross bolt guns that stick to enemies don't even do that much damage. There's not many ways to increase physical weapon damage. That's the universal problems of black powders. But black powders usually make up for that. Besides, if you have a Buffmeister, shotguns shoot a lot of pellets. The sniper rifles do a lot of damage. Unfortunately, the sniper rifles aren't as good in this game. Sniper rifles have so much zoom. On the Borderlands 3 they were lowered. Not in this game. The Thunder Enema. A lot of people says it's really good. I don't think it is that good. It has decreased base damage according to the parts card. This thing is very inaccurate. As you can see by the 28% on it. It breaks too quickly. The problem with Skulldugger weapons. Most of the time I can fire a Stoker gun longer than that. But like every 30 shots these will break and these have a long repair time. Donkey, a very good assault rifle, but its base damage not the highest. What does it make up for it? In the saw blade damage. Especially if you have ×2 versions of these. Its reroll time is 4. But it does has a big magazine size. I can understand that. 90. Quadbow shoots for crossbow bolts. Sounds impressive. No. The base damage on each is weak. It has a ridiculous damage penalty on them. 72%. It cannot spawn barrel accessories for whatever reason. Which is stupid. Low magazine size. Yeah, that's only 13. That's if you get a semi-automatic version. So I understand that. Its accuracy says it's 81. That's kind of a lie, because the spread of the crossbolts. Manual transmission. It can fire super fast. Does it make it good? No. It has high base damage from Stoker. Yes, I don't even notice that damage. I think it does half the damage what it shows on the item card. You have to switch modes to get most out of it. Is that good for a hectic fight? No. Because you're constantly switching the modes. That takes time. And it can retaliate. As a stoker, it's not an accurate weapon. You're not it can be hard to control because it's shooting so fast at its max fire rate. You're not gonna hit far away enemies for that. The damage needs to be what it's actually showing, not like they'll probably show that in a different video. Why? That would be not be the case. As a donkey. Well, I can sell that because that's basically a more inaccurate version of what I have. And that magazine is a normal one, for automatic 2-shot burst. You don't want the melee damage on it. Trust me. You want the crossbows to actually damage for one stuck target. It's not really the best gun to do that with. Unless you're going against the boss that's like 8% per shot. And it lasts 6 seconds. The problem is, are you going to hit all those bolts? Most likely not. Unless you're using a vertical, and the vertical does not shoot as fast. It's a 2-shot burst, which you're shooting 2 shots delay. That's time for enemies to retaliate. And you lose time on the bolt stock and target. The fire rate's not impressive for an assault rifle. The two of the other doll versions don't have high fire rates. Those 6% per second, but the fire rate can go up like almost 10. But those make up for it when base damage. And they're easy to shoot. Don't have much recoil to them. Okay. Should I put that? Oh, I might put it in the bank. I'm gonna use it with a character that doesn't have much money. So that's why I don't spend a lot of money on respecking the character. I'm not gonna do it with a character that has almost 100 million gold. That's gonna end up 2 million. We're not positive do it base damage because we actually got all those myth ranks. I'm going to take off the microphone for a little bit.
doth thou like me now?
It has switched gears on it. Unequip all these. That does not increase gun damage. Oh, now this is the only source of gun damage I have. Let's go to the targets. If it's below 600, the stats it on a, for it on RLI. $13.02. That sounds more like 83, more than 83%. I'm just gonna unclip the stuff. You don't get gun damage from the hero stats. That's a 1397. This is like 666 4. 664. This is 619. Yeah, that's very stereo. This gun must be very stereo because the damage is 619. My actual damage is doing is 1300. It's actually more than what the myth rank states. 83, it should be like 1,000 damage or something. I don't know why I'm getting that extra damage. Maybe if I change the chaos mode. It actually does damage on the item card, but with stuff like the myth rank and stuff, It's showing as 1300. Maybe that gun's better than I give it credit for, but who knows? Where am I getting that extra damage though? Because it should be like 1100. By the looks of the myth rank. Doesn't change when I move. Put the chaos mode down, as it shouldn't anyway. I just switch gears. It's 2882. 2882. When I hit this thing. Maybe this thing's better than I give it credit for. I don't know. Kinda hard to use though. I don't know why the heck I'm getting that extra gun damage, though. Check my equipment. There's no enchantment on it that would do anything. Not even using the action skill. Why is it like that? Is it the quick damage just actually adds to the actual gun damage? I don't know. That'd be actually like 83 plus 47 is 140. 140.5%. Maybe this really is not actually crit damage, but actual damage. Non-crit damage. I don't know why it's doing that. And that does not look to be 40% more critical damage. I don't understand this game sometimes. But I know one thing. This is the end of the stream. Thank you all for watching. See you next time.